Hey everybody, Superintendent Game here. Thought I'd make a video to kind of give everybody a rundown of everything that has happened over the last few days. Um, so maybe you saw my Facebook post, but I'll kind of recap everything for you guys on Christmas Day. Alarm went off notifying us that there was a sprinkler leak here at the high school. What we found out was the connection had snapped on a 4-inch pipe, and so that pipe had pulled away, and that 4-inch pipe was just flooding the school with water. And so when the alarm went off, the fire department, the police department, and our maintenance director on Christmas Day came out here, turned off the water immediately. And then within the next 10 minutes, we called Serve Pro, and Serve Pro was out here that night. So within 3 hours of the alarm going off, we already had a company here mopping up water, soaking up water. Now, you also need to visualize the 4-inch pipe sending water in. And so, as you can imagine, it was a significant amount of water. And so that kind of puts us in the predicament we're in right now. Full disclosure, we also had a few domestic leaks as well that kind of contributed to it, but weren't definitely the cause of all the damage. And so to dispel some of the rumors that I've heard, because I want to make sure the community is informed from the superintendent on the facts, there was no explosion here at the high school. The high school still exists. It's still on 538 Miller Street. You can see us as you drive down Route 1. We're still here. The roof did not blow off. We have some repairs that are going on today from the storm that did cause some damage to the roof, but the roof never blew off, so that's still here. It did not take 24 or 36 hours from when we heard the alarm to respond. That wasn't true. Like I said, within 3 hours, we already had a company on site cleaning up the water from when the alarm went off. And so that's another one we heard. And the last one I heard was it happened because the school district turned off the heat to the building. Again, that's not true. I would never turn the heat off to a building, especially when I know it's going to be sub-zero. Plus, I have workers here, including our maintenance people, custodians, things like that. So no, at no point in time was the heat ever turned off to the building. We are in a predicament that many schools kind of find themselves in when it's 30 below outside with wind chills. We're an old school, and sooner or later, old schools have bad things happen to them. The important thing is how do we respond and react to those things. So that's where this video is going to come into play. So with the damage that was created, we do have ServPro here. They've been phenomenal in terms of the cleanup. They're putting in more hours than I thought they would be doing. They're constantly here. They're cleaning water. They're cleaning classrooms. They're making sure everything gets back to where it needs to be. For the most part, when we did a walkthrough, there was minimal to no damage to any of the classrooms. They're dirty. They're getting cleaned. That's not the problem. And so we have all kinds of dehumidifiers and things like that going on in all those rooms. The areas that did get damaged are obviously the expensive ones, and those would be the gyms and our cafeteria. The gyms, the damage to those, because wood and water don't mix very well, especially when you dry it out. They've all buckled and they're damaged beyond repair. So both gyms are now unusable. And then our cafeteria, because of the type of laminate flooring that was put down originally, we're hoping to be able to dry out the glue that's underneath it, but we can't promise anything like that. So that floor might have to be taken up as well. So those are kind of the areas. Now, again, I'm a silver lining kind of person because that's what my job requires me to be. So the two silver linings to this situation is, one, it happened over a holiday break, which means that we now have 2 weeks to get all these things clean, fixed, and back to as reasonable as we can in a 2-week time span, which we will be doing. ServPro has assured me that they're going to have everything dried out and ready to go. Our custodians, including clean, they do have cleaners. And our custodians are also doing a lot of good work to make sure that gets done as well. So the building's going to be clean and ready to go. So we'll have students back here on January 10th. And if they walk around the building outside of the gyms, you wouldn't think anything happened. Where you will find an educational disruption, obviously, is in the PE classes. At this time, we're working with Zion, the community center, some other local avenues to see if we can maybe take a bus to a different facility so our students can do some aerobic activities. Maybe not every day. We understand that's probably not going to happen every single day. There's going to be some days where they're in the classroom, which is understandable. We still do have the weight room. We have spaces where they can do things like that. But obviously, as I said, the gyms are a no-go. They're buckled so bad that they are a tripping hazard, believe it or not. So it's pretty bad. That also means that our sports have been deterred a little bit. So really what's going to happen is everything's going to be through the junior high now. If there's a game, it's going to be at the junior high. If there's not an availability at the junior high for that game to happen, Dr. Palin at Grant Park and Mr. Stein at Piatone have opened their doors to us as a possibility of getting over there to play some games. Definitely do some practice. They've offered that space as well. They've been extremely understanding, very helpful for Beecher. Because we're a community, and I appreciate that. So we're going to be working with them. We're going to kind of put together a schedule for the sports teams to try to use that one gym space in the foreseeable future. Everybody probably wants to know what's the timeline look like. As long as the adjuster comes out and gives us the thumbs up to start the demolition and the replacement, we're looking probably at the end of March, early April, to have the gyms back up, one of the gyms up and running again. The Den, which is the new gym, as Mitch Meyer calls that, the Den. That's going to take a little bit more time just because of the sheer size of it. But the smaller gym, we should have up and running within the next 3 months, which isn't ideal. I understand that, but it's the best we can do with the resources that we have. And so I've been very impressed with everybody that we've worked with, from our insurance company being very responsive to ServPro, who's doing a lot of great work for us. They really do care to make sure that this place is safe for your kids and safe for our staff, and make sure it's clean. So I want to thank everybody who's been very kind. Mr. Stein and Dr. Palin didn't have to offer up their school gyms to us, but they did out of the kindness that they have. So hopefully this video has provided you a little bit of insight of what happened over the last couple of days. When I have a more concrete answer on those gyms, I promise you I'll reach right back out to everybody. But I wanted to put this together to assure you that we will have school on January 10th. It will be clean. We will not have any kind of problems in regard to that. Lunches still will be served in the cafeteria, whether it's on a new floor or the existing floor if we can salvage it. But the PE classes will have to be altered in a manner. So that's where we're at. I want to thank everybody for the support. I'm sorry if at the beginning of the video any of those rumors were told to you and you didn't know where to seek information. But as I can assure you, no explosion, roof is still there, things like that. So as always, appreciate your support. You guys have a wonderful rest of your break, and we'll see you on January 10th.